Alrighty, well, I want to say welcome everybody to our first steering committee meeting of 2023. Thanks for joining us tonight. And I want to let you know that this meeting is being recorded and it will be posted on our website and on our YouTube channel. And with that, I'm going to pass that to Janice. She has a acknowledgement before we begin the meeting tonight.
All right. So before we start our meeting tonight, we really wanted to provide some time to acknowledge some tragic news that you all might have heard over the weekend about the mass shooting during the Lunar New Year celebration festival down in Monterey Park in the LA area. And we recognize how that might be also impacting our community here. For those who don't know, Lunar New Year celebration occurs for a period of about 2 weeks. And this is usually a cultural celebratory time for many of us in the Asian community. So we are very sad to hear about this news and any potential impacts that it may have for our community members here in Sacramento. So really, we just wanted to provide some space for us to acknowledge this horrific event and before we moved on to the rest of our agenda today.
Thank you for doing that.
All right, with that, I will pass it over to our co-leads to kick us off for our meeting. I'm going to pull up our PowerPoint slide again.
Okay, hello everyone. I guess we're going to do introductions right now. Okay, well, I'm Vincent, the co-lead. And welcome to the new participants, new members. That's Michael and Rachel. I'm looking at for you guys on my screen. So welcome here. We need all the help we can get.
Hello, thank you.
I don't know which way we're going to do the introductions, but we'll just tag people because I don't know. And I'll tag Jaime.
Good evening, everybody. Jaime Lemos. I oversee transportation and climate change at the Sacramento Air District. And just happy to be here. Thank you for holding space for me here. And I will go with Jesus Cervantes.
Yes, hi, Jesus Cervantes. I'm a member of the steering committee, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you and Happy New Year. Now let's see, David Young.
Hello, everybody. My name is David Yang. I am a program supervisor with the Air District. Nice to see everybody again. I'll pass it to Janice.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Janice Lamb-Snyder. I'm a program manager here at the Sacramento Air District, overseeing the air monitoring rules and data analysis sections. Been with the program since day one. And with that, I will pass it to Mark Latzenheiser. Mark, you are on mute.
I realized right as I was started off, I realized I had to get over there. Good afternoon, everyone, or evening at this point. Mark Latzenheiser, a division manager here with Sacramento Air District, overseeing the air monitoring rules, emission reduction credits, the data analysis, and as it really relates here, this part of our AB 617 work. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it back actually to some of the committee members real quick. So maybe back over to Bill Knowlton.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bill Knowlton, and I am with the Mac Road Partnership. It's always good to spend time together. David Yang.
I already went, Bill. Somebody else.
Okay, Rachel.
How did I know, Bill? I knew you. I could count on you to introduce me. I was going to kick it back to you. Shoot. Rachel Brown, Executive Director at the Power and Alliance, a good size PBID to the north of Bill's PBID, and happy to be here in the group. Sorry it took me all of last year to kind of get my act together, but I'm here and looking forward to participating. Let's see if I can effectively do this. How about Did Pat Shelby go yet?
No, I did not. Just a second. Okay, got that gobbled down. Hi, I'm Pat Shelby, and along with Bill Knowlton, one of the former co-leads. So nice to have a meeting here and having Vincent with your first session of co-lead. Welcome, welcome, welcome to that role. And for all the new folks, thank you. I've been here from the beginning as well and look forward to post-COVID opportunities that will be coming this year. All right, and with that, I will introduce Michael Lampkin.
Hello, everyone. I'm Michael. I am a new member of the steering committee. And I look forward to learning more about how this committee works and playing a role in keeping the air clean in this community.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and pass it.
Do I pass on else or?
Yeah, we'll pass it over to Rhonda.
Somehow I knew you was gonna do that. Hello, everyone. I'm Rhonda Henderson. I am the president of North Laguna Creek Valley High Community Association. I represent my organization as well as my neighborhood. I live in North Laguna Creek as well. And I've been on the steering committee since the beginning as well.
We'll head over to Taylor.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Taylor. I'm a resident here, and I also am a tech consultant working at Zenify, local tech consultant here in Sacramento. And I've been a member for a year, and I've been helping with the outreach team on our Sac Clean Air website. And with that, I will toss it over to Adrian.
Thanks, Taylor. Adrian Wren. I work at Valley Vision. We're a nonprofit up in Oak Park and work on air quality issues. Let's see who hasn't gone yet. Deldy.
Thanks, Adrian. I'm Deldy Reyes, and I'm the director of the Office of Community Air Protection at the Air Resources Board. Pleasure to be here with you, and I'll pass it to my colleague, Jennifer, who's the liaison for this community for CARP.
Yes, thanks, Delby. Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer Magana, and I am your community liaison from the Office of Community Air Protection. I'm basically here to provide you with any resources that you guys may need or help in whatever format is needed. And then just for all you new folks, I'll drop my email in the chat so you guys can always reach out to me, or you could go through your air district. Thank you.
All right, we'll go to Alberto.
Thank you, Janice. I am Alberto Ayala. I'm the executive director of the Sacramento Metro AQMD. I wanted to make the meeting to do two things. One, to say hello to everybody, our returning committee members, especially the changing of the guard, the new leadership here. We really appreciate what you do for your community and what you do for us as an air agency in charge of implementing this new state mandate. But I really wanted to show up to welcome Michael and let's see, where did she go?
Rachel.
Still here, Rachel. You guys are new to the committee, but I hope that we can inspire you to join this great collection of business leaders and community representatives. As you said, Michael, this is all about advancing the clean air realities of the community and also the opportunities that come with some of the things that together we can accomplish. So again, I just really wanted to make the point, is the first meeting of the year. So what better way to start the new year with all of us kind of reaffirming our commitment to South Sacramento flooring. And again, really want to thank you all for your participation. I'm sure you've got many other things that you could be doing with your time at this time of the day, but really appreciate you working with us. And again, we're here for you. We're here to work with you. Please keep us posted. We've been doing this for a few years now, and hopefully things are getting better and improving again on behalf of what we're trying to accomplish for the community. So again, thank you, Janice. Let's see, Mr. Falcon.
Good to see all of you. Richard Falcon, organizer for United Latinos, executive director of Teatro Nahual, sitting here in my car because I have a 7 o'clock appointment right over there that I'm going to have to leave you guys at 6:55. But wanted to be here with the first meeting. Great to see so many new people and looking forward to what the year brings to us. Thank you.
And we'll pick someone for you, Richard. How about Leah?
Hi, my name's Leah Colin, and I'm an assistant air quality specialist at the Sac Metro Air District. And I don't think Marina's gone yet.
Hello, I recognize many of you, but nice to see the two new folks tonight. My name is Marina Franceschi. I'm with the Sac Metro Air District working on the AB 617 program. And I will pass to Amy. Have you gone yet?
I haven't. Thanks, Marina. Good evening, everyone. Really nice to be here and be at the start of 2023, and especially to the new members. I am one of the division managers at the Sac Metro Air District, and I oversee what we call the Stationary Source Division, and that is basically two groups, one that does all of the air quality permitting for stationary sources, and the other group that does the enforcement and compliance activities. Happy to be here.
Is there anyone we missed? I think we got everyone.
I think we did. And during my introduction, I forgot to say that I was part of the United Latinos Green Team, and that's who I'm representing here also on the AB 61 committee. So welcome, everybody. And I did print out an agenda.
So let me go ahead and share the screen real quick.
And we're going to move into administrative items.
Yes.
Great.
All right. Oh, Marina, do you want to go through this first? Marina, you're on mute.
Yes. Let me go through our logistics for us. So for those of you who are new to our meetings, just want to make sure everyone is clear on how to participate and leave a comment. We have staff available if you have any technology issues, or if your mic suddenly stops working or something, you can send an email to that AB617 clerk@airquality.org, or you can just put in the chat and message the co-hosts, and we'll see that and help you out with any problems that you're having. And then for agenda items that have steering committee discussion with them, the co-leads will announce the format of how we're doing that discussion. If it's a round robin, then they will call upon each of the steering committee members to speak. And then after everyone has spoken, then you're welcome to raise your hand if you have any additional comments. Same thing in the public comment period. If you would like to speak, please just raise your virtual hand, or if you're on camera, you can raise your physical hand too. Hopefully one of us will see it. In order to raise your hand on Zoom, you go down into the reactions button and you should see a black bar that says raise hand. And then next to your name, you'll see a little hand icon so you know that it worked. If you're on the phone, you press *9 and then you'll hear an automatic voice saying that your hand is raised, and then we'll get a notification and you can wait to be called upon. And then to unmute yourself if you're on the phone, press *6 in order to make your comment. Also, you can email me comments if you don't want to say them out loud, or if your connection isn't stable, you can email them to that same AB617 clerk@airquality.org, and we'll read it aloud to the committee. And then last reminder was about privacy. I see that we have mostly cameras on right now, which is really lovely, especially for new folks, so they can kind of see who we're talking to. But since this meeting is recorded, if you have any concerns about like your home background or anything being posted on our website or on YouTube, you're not required to have your camera on. It's just a nice thing if you're comfortable with it. And with that, I think it goes back to the co-leads.
So Vincent, we have done introductions, but I'd like to go ahead and maybe read out a couple of folks, steering committee members who may not be able to join us right at this moment, just for part of the record, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Okay, so Bishop Chris Baker, Stephanie Williams, Tito Huang, Lisa Lindsay, John Rice that is not here tonight or not here yet. Not sure. They're going to be joining us later. Okay. So we can move on to administrative items. So there's a few administrative items that we need to take care of. They're listed here. Marina has sent out previous meeting notes from July 22nd and October 22nd. And so I think you guys have all received those. And I think Vincent, we would be looking for a motion or a concurrence to approve those meeting notes. And so we'll look to you to lead that.
Okay. Has everybody had a chance? Has anybody had a chance to read the minutes from July and October? And want to approve them?
May I ask a question, Vincent?
Sure.
Will you entertain a motion that we adopt both of the meetings notes for June and October in the same motion?
July.
June, excuse me.
Yes.
July and October in the same motion. In that case, I am putting a motion forward that we adopt the notes as presented for both June and October of 2022.
July and October.
July and October. Thank you for that correction. I don't know why I have June stuck in my head. July and October of 2022.
Motion's been made. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Rhonda.
That wasn't me.
That was Jesus.
It was me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Jesus.
No problem.
So I think the next step is to ask for a vote, all in favor and all and any that opposed, or discussion, and then
Okay, I'm sorry. I just thought we were making a motion and passing it. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Do we have to call by name or?
Aye. No,
Okay.
as for those who are opposed,
Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion passes.
all right, thank you. All right, with that, we're gonna pass it over to Marina to give some steering committee recruitment and member renewals.
Yes, thank you. This is just a reminder that we are still open for recruitment through next Tuesday, the 31st. We've been sending out reminders, and we have materials available in both English and Spanish. If anybody is part of a community group that you think could benefit from hearing about this announcement and you'd like us to send that over to you personally, let me know and I can send that over to you. But this is just a reminder once again, if you've been meaning to send it to someone or advertise it in your groups, you got 1 week to do so, and we'll happily look at our applications after that. And then the next one was the member renewals. This is going to be brief because the two people that have not submitted are actually not here right now. So if you're here and you're a steering committee member, thank you for letting us know that you're renewing.
I had a question on the recruitment item.
Mhm.
Do we have anybody that's applied to be on the committee? Are there any applications submitted yet?
I'll have to check for this week, but as of last week, we had not received any which I think is partly due to the holidays and recruiting immediately after the holiday season. So we're going to send out more reminders this week and hopefully get more applications in.
Thank you.
All right, just one quick update on member renewals. We did receive a notice from Taylor that he's not going to be renewing for this upcoming year. So, we thank you for your service and time that you were able to share with us. I know you did a lot of work also with the website. And so with that, I'll pass it over to you.
First, I'd like to appreciate the efforts of the steering committee, and I wanted to just share my experience here. And I think this is a great group of people, and I hope my time here has been of value. This year, I have some aspirations of that's going to take some time away, and it also has to do things without web development, which is what I've been doing here. So it's kind of a big shift for myself this year. So I'm excited for the next journey, and I hope the best of luck for everybody here. And yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Aww.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry if that's a bummer. I know it's not the easy one here, but I'm here till the end of the month, guys.
Okay.
Till Tuesday.
Yep, get your website updates in.
Taylor, this is Pat Shelby. I just want to say I so very much appreciate the ideas and the energy that you have brought to the group this last year. It's been invaluable. I know that Rhonda has really utilized your support and your advice for the outreach committee and just bringing that technical expertise for the web page. Thank you, and again, thank you.
And I did all of that, and you have been a great asset to our overall steering committee, and especially to the outreach committee. I don't know how we would have done it without you. So I appreciate all your input, all your positive energy, and I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors.
I appreciate that, Rhonda. I know 2023 is going to be a great year for you guys. There's a lot of things moving in the outreach, and there's renewed passion. I could feel that too. So keep it going. So.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for that, and thank you, Taylor. I think the last one we do have is the outreach fund expenditure or expenses, and we have Bill from the Mac Road Partnership to provide the balance and what we've used the money for. And this is going to be useful because as we're talking about the phase 3 mobile lab event, you guys will know how much money we have left.
All right, thank you, Janice. So as you can see by the slide, we started with $25,000. The phase 1 website development was $790. Google domains were $72. Website developer phase 3 was another $790. Website developer completion, $2,340. And then the 2-year subscription was $311.04. So we have spent total for $4,303.04, which leaves a balance of $20,696.96. So we have a few dollars left there. Let's go spend it.
We will.
I know you are.
We'll take it back gladly, Bill, if you don't need it.
Yeah.
No, not gonna happen.
I think Miss Rhonda will spend this money.
All right, are there any questions?
Yeah, any questions on that?
Okay. If not, let's go ahead and transition to district updates.
And just as a note, if I may, about this, especially for the new folks who may not know, Mac Road Partnership has accepted the fiduciary responsibility of handling those funds for us, and they have also done it. I don't know that this is a good business karma, but they have agreed to do it without a fee to us. So thank you for the work that you are doing, Bill and Mac Road Partnership.
Well, thank you for your kind words. This is time well spent, and it's important for us and for our community, both on the business side and the residential. So thank you for your kind words, Pat, and we're happy to do it.
Thank you.
Is this a good segue into the subcommittee?
We have a few items before we get to the subcommittee.
Okay.
Get back to it.
All right, well, don't forget the budget, you guys. The amount.
Okay, I think I've got the district update section. And Rhonda, you know, we can always pull back up that slide when we do get to the outreach subgroup update. So we can always we can slide back to that slide, no pun intended, but we can slide back to that slide.
Okay.
I wasn't going for that intentionally, but we can always go back there as needed when we do get to that part of the agenda. So just fairly quickly, we do have a few different updates from the district we want to share with you. The first one is, just so everyone knows, our regular district board, with a couple exceptions, does meet monthly. And so we have invited both Bill and Pat to come to this month's meeting, which is this upcoming Thursday morning, basically to thank them and recognize their leading as co-leads from the beginning. And we do appreciate that Bill and Pat are staying on with the committee and continue their service and the great information. And like several people who, during your introductions, you know, they've been with us since the beginning and they've been running the co-leads. So they've been, you know, basically helping run the show for the last 4 years. So we look forward to being able to recognize and thank them before the board. And, you know, just as an early lead in for both Vincent and Stephanie, even though she can't be here, you're looking forward to many years from our current co-leads. Hint, hint. Or as we like to say it, you know, the soccer board I'm a part of, you know, it's not really a lifetime commitment, but it is. So that we just want to share with this group that we will be recognizing them during our board meeting on Thursday. So the phase 3 mobile laboratory update, more of this will come out actually during the outreach subcommittee update that Ron will be talking about, and just a lot of the great work and efforts going into the actual event. But as to the mobile lab itself, we are in the process of finishing up still the contracts with the school and the school district. On the plus side, we got things signed. On the slight hiccup side, they added some things after we'd agreed to the terms. They added some more language in. So we're working through some of those languages, you know, just making sure that what was added in is still fine. And if not, what do we need to do to take care of that? So a little bit of an ongoing effort there, but we certainly think we're in the home stretch. So even though the finish line got, you know, kicked just a little bit past the normal place, I think we're still in a really good place moving forward on the lab and the deployment. I'll pause there real quick in case there's any questions on the mobile lab.
I did raise my hand. So is there a plan B, or was there another location we were going to have the phase 3 monitor go after the first location was done?
So short version is there really isn't. I mean, I think everything is going to work out there, Vincent. As to an official plan B, there is not a next location predetermined. Just as a quick, or maybe as a quick recap, and especially for the benefit of our newer members, the committee came forward with a couple of different options as to where they'd like to see the mobile lab go based upon our what we call the phase 2 monitoring. After looking at the top locations that this group had recommended to us, this particular school site was the chosen location, both given its location, security, and other areas. There is not a second location as a backup at the moment, Vincent. Although, as I said, I think at this point it's more a matter of working through some finer details. I don't think the finish line is gone. It's just got moved a few more inches down the road, and we just have to work through them with it. If we did need to go to another location, though, it would really set us back time-wise, just because of getting the contracting power needs. That's one of the things we work through with the school, is because we do need to bring in things like 220 power, so it's not just like plugging this into any outlet. But I don't want to convey I see a problem. I think it's just that we've just run into some very minor, I wouldn't even call them hiccups, just little speed bumps, just slowing us down as we're getting to that finish line. I think, the school has still indicated they're, interested in having us and everything like that. It's just more they added in some additional language. And it could be that we're running through our legal right now. It could be that we're already good with the added language and we just also sign the dotted line and call it good. Great question though, Vincent. Thank you.
Yes.
Mark, there's still a few more.
Oh, sorry, I'm not seeing hands up at the moment.
Sorry, the next few updates.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. I was just waiting to see if there's anyone else that had a question on the left. So the next update we just want to share with everyone is just a facilitation update. Again, a little bit for our existing members and also for our new members. When we first started up the 617 program, we did not run with facilitator. After a few months of running, we did bring in some facilitation, had facilitation for a period of time. We've been operating without facilitation. This means like basically third parties coming in, helping with some of the coordination meetings, helping if there's any speed bumps along the road. So we have been out for bid for the past several months, and we're working through some final language right now, and we have selected, let's see, their name is Kearns and West. Will be coming in to help provide facilitation, likely in place for the next community engagement meeting. But if not that one, then certainly the one following that. We're in the final stages of getting all that together right now. Any questions on the facilitation? Hearing none, moving on to just an update to the year 5 community recommendations for AB 617. So back at in the October meeting, I believe it was the last district meeting, we did share with the steering committee that the district was again nominating 3 additional communities toward AB 617 selection through the state California Air Resources Board process. One thing that we are going to do though is we are going to be doing just an update to our letter, where our letter does, I think, a great job of highlighting the additional communities here in Sacramento that we'd like to see brought into the 617 mix. One thing that has become clear to us is that we really haven't shared as much about making sure what's going to be happening with our current community, this group, moving forward. And so we are going to be sending an update to the Air Resources Board. We've got some of the highlights here, but some of the main takeaways are that we want to be making sure that our community is not left behind, that we're not forgotten as we are moving forward. As we move into our phase 3 monitoring, as we continue to bring in that data to help inform our next decisions, that we do have a plan moving forward to head toward a community emission reduction plan. Obviously, we've already been doing some things toward that. You've heard before Amy talk about, the supplemental enforcement program. You've heard Jaime and his group come through and talk about working already and getting community's feedback on the incentive project selection. We've also previously talked about our unidentified source inspection program, basically meaning we're going out making sure that we have the sources in the community under permit that are actually in compliance. So even though we're doing a lot of efforts already, we want to take a moment and highlight those elements that are already happening, highlight that we're want to be using this year and next year to continue building the capacity as this committee goes into your next visioning meeting, which I know is a part of this meeting coming up in just a little bit later in the agenda. That way you can start thinking about, hey, you've already focused on your outreach. You've talked about forming some of the different community connections, but it's also then helping to lay that framework so that we can be going forward toward a community emission reduction plan or a CERP. And that our intention is, again, with buyout from this committee as move forward, but just sort of putting the state on notice, we are looking to nominate by 2025 for a CERP. So also hopefully we, other air districts, communities, CARB, can all work with the state legislature, hopefully to be bringing in even more long-term funding for these different program areas. So we are going to be sending that update to CARB as an update to our original letter. I did see there was one question in the chat. I think Janice has already responded to it. Richard, did that take care of your question?
Yes, it did, Bill. Yes, it did, Mark. Thank you.
I'm glad that Janice was typing that, so I didn't have to quickly try and look it up as I was talking. So Janice, thank you as well for responding there.
Hey, Mark, if I can add, particularly for our new members of the committee, we are anticipating taking these bullet points in the form of a letter in front of our board of directors for their recommendation and direction. So the meeting of our board is actually taking place this week and on Thursday. So any of you that are particularly interested are more than welcome to join us via another Zoom. But I wanted to make it a point that the committee knows that this program is very important, and we try to keep our board of directors, our elected officials that represent many of you residents and in your organizations. We try to keep them very much appraised of what is all happening with respect to AB 617 in general and South Sacramento, Florida. So just wanted to add that, Mark.
Great, thank you, Alberto. Any other question on this one? If not, we do have one other update. Marina, if you could go ahead and advance the slides then real quick. On the note of just some of the different incentive projects, I just want to highlight one that's going to be coming to fruition here imminently. So previously, members of this steering committee have helped provide feedback to the district, to Jaime and his team on some preferences for some of the incentive dollars, where they go, the type of projects. One of those projects that was recommended by that group from the steering committee that helped provide feedback was a project with Pepsi replacing a number of their trucks. So this is a project, right driving through and in and around the community. So it's the Pepsi bottling plant here on Gerber and Reese, with a lot of the trucks driving both through the community, up and down the 99 through it. And the proposal was replacing 18 diesel trucks with zero emission Tesla trucks. And they're also going to be powered on 100% renewable energy from SMUD. And that project should be going live literally imminently. When we were first putting this in the slide, we actually even knew the kickoff date. Unfortunately, they moved the kickoff date and they haven't reset it yet. So when we do get that information, though, we'll be sure to share with all the members of the steering committee, just so that you have that information on when they're doing their event. Adrian, great question. Jaime, if you know the answer, you can pipe in, but if not, we can we'll type it in the chat and get that information in a bit.
Great question, and I should have that stats, but I don't have it off the top of my head, Adrian. But we can get this on over to you guys.
We'll share, since Jaime doesn't have it at his fingertip, and Vincent, I do see your hand, so I won't miss you here in just a second. Since it sounds like we may not have it right this meeting, we'll be sure to email to the steering committee within the next day or so. Vincent, is that your question, Vincent? So Jaime, I'm going to sort of kick this one to you. Are there other Tesla trucks already in the community?
So maybe, yes. I think some of you in the community have seen them around, but we will not be having the event until we're all ready to have it, which is probably, we were looking at the end of February. It may just be around end of February, early March timeframe. But one of the things we would like to do is also invite the steering committee to participate, since the priorities were set out by the steering committee volunteers who participated in the design of the incentives. And then we brought back this project, which met all of the priorities for the community and for the steering committee as well.
We'll definitely continue to let the steering committee know as soon as we have the specifics on their event. Vincent, is that another question, or is it hand still just up?
Just to be clear, so this is what was from the $4.5 million gets us 18 trucks and a charging infrastructure. This came from the funds of the AB 617, and then what, 3 years ago?
Yes, actually, yes. That's you remember correctly. It was about 3 or 4 years ago. As many of you know, because of COVID and the supply chain issue, the project was held up. But now we're ready for deployment. And to answer your question, on our side, so the Community Air Protection Funds was $3,600,000 for that. We also have other funding that went into the electric charging station or infrastructure also as well, from other pots of funding from the Air District. The overall project dollars, though, is about $14 to $15 million total.
And then Pat, then Alberto, if that's okay.
I was just going to make the point, you made a statement toward Adrian's question, but for those of us who didn't have it pulled up on the screen, could you just repeat that question that you said you're deferring to Jaime for later?
Oh, sorry, certainly. Adrian had asked, sorry, that's a great point, Pat. Adrian had asked a question, just wondering if we knew the specific emission benefit associated with the Pepsi to Tesla conversion. And then he didn't have the numbers right at his fingertips, but we will email that information out to the group within the next day or two.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pat, for pointing that out. Alberto.
Thank you, Mark. I just wanted to emphasize the point for the committee that the fact that we have these Tesla trucks coming to our community, to South Sacramento, is a big deal, right? Because this is something that I think we should all be very proud of. It only happened because of the committee and our work together. But this is a big deal because this is basically the most advanced technology out there, replacing one of the biggest source of air pollution, these big old diesel semis that we all see driving around. And these are going to be zero emission trucks. So I hope that this doesn't go past the members of the committee in terms of this is what we want to highlight for the community. This is the promise of AB 617 and what it can do for the community. Obviously, this is a big corporation, and as Jaime said, they themselves are betting big on this technology, but we made it an explicit point to make sure that our communities begin to see these advanced technologies that we need to solve the climate crisis. And it starts with these projects with one single truck, one single charger, to make sure that we begin this transition towards the green economy. And we want to make this an opportunity to highlight the community. We definitely invite all of you in whatever capacity you want to get involved in. We are most certainly going to be calling on our elected officials, those that sit on our board, those that represent the area. You can imagine that we're not the only agency that is excited about this development. Our friends at SMOT are very much excited and supportive. So I hope that you join us in celebrating that this is a big win for our community and for clean air, starting in South Sacramento. And again, we want to thank you, as Jaime said, your input and support is basically what gave us the opportunity to make these projects happen. And again, we don't want this to be the last. We're just getting started, and that's what's exciting about what we can do together in this context. So just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. This is exciting. And I remember when we started, this is Pat speaking. I remember when we started, we were, if I recall, Elk Grove had kind of a poo-poo attitude towards going to the electric buses. And over time, that has changed, but those were some of the things that started to become more public pressure, and I certainly things that we had been saying to some of our schools. But the other is, I think we started to attract more money and starting to advocate for more supportive funding for schools to be able to make this transition. And that has happened during this time that we've been together.
Patricia, that was very well said. And I will share with everybody in the committee, if you don't know already, maybe some of the newer members, that Sacramento has the largest fleet so far in the nation. I was able to validate that with our CalSTART friends in the state in electric school buses. So we are doing a great job. We are thinking about doing even additional things with this as we look at, grid resiliency. We look at Wi-Fi capabilities with some of these buses. I mean, I think there's a lot of really cool projects that we can continue to do as we continue to make our school bus fleet zero emission. So, that was very well said, and we should all be very, very proud of that.
Thank you, Jaime. Unless there is anything else urgent on this one, in the interest of, I know we're a little bit behind on the schedule, so we'll go ahead and turn it back over to the committee for committee updates.
Hey, Vincent.
That's me. Okay. All right. So these are our dates for our upcoming steering committee meetings. Did we get all these in our emails too?
Marina?
Yes, you've all received the calendar, and it is posted on the AB 617 page. If you click on the tab that says community meetings, and the calendar is also there. But if you want it sent out again, we can absolutely send it out to everybody.
I just wanted to make sure everybody had a copy of these already. And I'm looking at my notes. And so the question came up is, do we want to meet in person or stay on Zoom meetings? And I think I brought it up because a lot of the different organizations I've been on different committees with, there's been a feeling that the Zoom isn't as effective as in person, or sometimes the ideas and the brainstorming doesn't really work too well as on Zoom as it does as in person. So I just thought I maybe would ask the committee how they felt about it. If anybody has any feelings either way, that's okay to talk about it. And the other one was a hybrid Zoom meeting, which a couple of the committees I'm on do. And those are a little more challenging. They are, but we're doing them. So United Latinos is doing hybrid. And so it's hard to get the person who's on the computer to cut in when we're all talking on a subject, but we have to let them in. So the computer comes into the meeting and it works. It works well. So anybody have any thoughts on meeting in person or Zoom only?
This is Rhonda. I'm not comfortable with in-person meetings with lots of people where you can't spread out enough to protect yourself from the virus. So I like the Zoom meetings and possibly hybrid, but not just only in-person meetings.
If there was enough room for us to be 6 feet apart or more, Would that be better for you, Rhonda, or
That would be better. I'm a senior, so I have to be real careful, and my immune system is already compromised. So
totally understandable? And I just had some family members who caught COVID again, so it is still out there. It really
it's
is.
not gone, yeah.
Anybody else have any feelings either way?
I do, Vincent, and I do think that the benefit of being able to have Zoom as part of our package, as well as in person. There are some situations where in person, particularly if a community is meeting that way and you're needing to go out and meet with them. But I just had an experience where I was invited to an in-person situation. The storms happened and they reverted back to their Zoom meeting. And they offered to also give me the opportunity to speak to them from a Zoom position as well, understanding that different people's health is in different capacities. So maybe being able to refine that combo situation of hybrid may be beneficial. But I certainly did enjoy our in-person meeting that we had for our visioning session, and that we had enough room to kind of spread out and not feel like we were, jammed together too tightly.
Thank you, Pat.
Into my thought.
Anybody else? Jesus?
My preference is to do this soon for now, maybe next year, or to look at it maybe in July, August, and see what happens with the COVID thing. But I feel, same as Rhonda, I feel uncomfortable doing the in person at this point.
Well, I'm getting the feeling that the Zoom is going to be the winning topic today for sure. It sounds like it. So, okay. Anybody from the Air District have any feelings about the meetings, or from CARB?
Vincent, I'll go ahead and, or go ahead, Alberto.
Yeah, I was just going to answer Vincent real quick, Mark. I mean, I'll give you our take, Vincent. We're kind of split, right? I mean, we completely agree with you and see the benefit and appreciate the sentiment of having the opportunity to come back in person. But we also obviously hear very clearly concern of some like Rhonda who may not be ready for that. So, we're here to support whatever desire the committee has. I will share with you guys that what we are recommending to our own board of directors, is to envision having 2 meetings a year in person, and then every other meeting, we meet monthly, our board meets monthly. Every other meeting we continue with the Zoom option. So I think it's a bit of a everybody's kind of approaching it in whatever fashion they're comfortable with, but I definitely appreciate and share the sentiment that we do miss a lot when we are not able to come together, because I'm reminded that this is a community, and the way that you develop community is having an opportunity to interact and create a sense of fellowship. But yeah, unfortunately, the virus is not quite done with us, so we need to be mindful of that as well.
And if I may add and just build upon what Alberto was saying, and maybe as a way of acknowledging the steering committee members' voices that we were just hearing, I would just tend to, and again, this is up to the steering committee, but I would sort of throw out there that maybe for the July quarterly meeting, one that's still a few months out, maybe we can, I do think the hybrid model is, a little bit different, but maybe we could just plan ahead and say, maybe we'll try the July quarterly one as a hybrid, and then we can revisit and just see how it goes from there. But again, that's merely a suggestion. We'll look to the guidance and preferences from the steering committee.
Okay, thanks. I think we heard from everybody. Bishop Baker did say that he didn't mind meeting in person if we were masked and we were 6 feet apart. And he had the question of can we do the Zoom if we were in person? So it sounds like we're going to stay in Zoom for now. Does everybody agree on that?
Yep.
Okay. And then we'll look at maybe sometime in the future as things change and.
Well, I think that Mark has some strength in, if we looked at the July quarterly meeting, that's kind of past the peak of flu seasons as well. Folks feel like they can be out and apart, spread out a little bit. That might be where we can dip our toe in to that meeting, Vincent.
Yeah. Okay.
By all means, as well, to the committee, you'll have the opportunity in your community engagement meetings over the next few months, and we'll have the quarterly in April that you can refine that guidance on what you'd like to have for July.
Great. Okay, we can move on to the next item if everybody wants. Is everybody ready?
Vincent, you do have one hand up from Bishop Chris.
Oh, Bishop Baker.
Yeah, there's several meetings, commissions I'm on, and they went to Zoom and in person. So if a person has concerns, because maybe their age or their compromised system, we still have our commission meetings in person, and those individuals are able to join by Zoom. And I heard someone say the flu season, COVID, all this. Well, that is where I'm personally frustrated with it, because I have bad allergies and I couldn't sleep, went to the doctor. One doctor said it was COVID. One doctor said it was rhinoceros flu. Another doctor said it was bad rhinoceros head stuffiness. So I get home and I take 3 different tests, the COVID test. One test say positive, other test, 2 tests say negative. So, I mean.
Yeah. There's no easy answers. Yeah.
I was sick in December and I tested negative, and I felt like I wanted to be positive because I was really sick. I don't know how to feel anymore.
Well, I think that's what's throwing a lot of people off, and I do feel for folks that have the immune system, especially our seniors, because they're very vulnerable. But I'd like a suggestion. I think if we do in person, maybe those individuals can still have the opportunity of staying at home and doing it on Zoom.
Yes, I do a couple meetings that are in the hybrid format, and it's challenging just to get set up and you have to bring more stuff, but it's definitely doable.
Make it happen, Mark.
I'll tell you what, we'll start researching on our end for the potential in July, and we'll continue to get feedback from this group over the next few months. Does that sound good? So we'll start doing our research, and then we'll look for final guidance from this body.
That sounds good. And maybe with that, Mark, Deldy or others who are looking around the state may also be hearing about some innovative ways that people are handling the same issue.
You're not alone in choosing to currently continue hybrid. There are only a very few community steering committees that are having in-person meetings, and they are not doing it regularly.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Yes, that was great input, and I appreciate everybody participating. Okay, so the next one on our list is the annual charter update. And does anybody have anything about the charter they want to discuss or bring up? Are there anything from the district changing in the charter?
May I ask a question to you, Vincent? This is Pat Shelby.
Yes.
Would you like us to, okay, one, may I request that the charter be, the digital version be sent out to the members again for their perusal? And then can we give you some written recommendations if we're looking at some changes as well? So that you know exactly what we're wanting to be updated or changed.
Yes, that's a great idea. I don't think anybody's kind of really looked at the charter. I know I haven't looked at it. There are a few things I've talked about in the past of maybe for revisions. So we could bring it up at our community engagement meeting next month if everybody gets a chance to look at the charter by then. That sound good, Pat?
That sounds good to me. But yes, if we could get that sent back out to all of us so that we, so it'll be fresh.
Great. We'll put that in our notes. And anybody else have anything to say about the charter? And I'll ask the question, have all of the new members received the charter, the blueprint and everything on all those different things?
So all the new members have received a list of we have an orientation list that includes the link to the charter and the link to the blueprints.
Okay. Okay, so next on our list is the outreach subcommittee report back. And that would be from Rhonda.
Okay.
Here's your segue.
Thank you so much, Vincent. Can you put up that slide? Not the previous slide, but the new slide.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna let you do your spiel first and pull it up, but I will pull it up now.
Well, if you recall, we weren't getting a lot of participation on the subcommittee, outreach committee, which is part of the steering committee. And so we did have another project that needed some help and some people to help with it. So we agreed to work on an event to introduce the monitor, the phase 3 monitor. And so we've been meeting to create kind of a plan, I guess you could say, for the event. And so we're gonna need some to spend some more money. I told you, Bill, it was coming to cover the event for the monitor. So what we have here on the screen is that, and these are still in the brainstorming stage. We're talking about breakfast for vendors. We're talking about kids' activities, rental of tables and chairs, unless we can get them from somebody else, like a P-bid or somebody like Bill. Maybe Bill has extra chairs and tables we can get, or we rent some too, or we just rent them all together. And then we're talking about perhaps giving away a box fan filter and have a booth for that. But I need to contact and reach out in partnership with some other organizations like SAC 350 to see if they still have a budget for it, because they were making them and giving them out as well before we just go and spend money. I want to leverage what's out there first that's free or low cost. But in an estimate, just to get it started, we figure we need to ask to spend about $8,250. We may not spend it all, but we need to come to you as a steering committee and ask permission to spend that for the event. Okay, now over on the other side here, the district will coordinate the mobile lab, exterior design, the media and communications. That will include like radio, maybe some TV ads, inviting and notifying elected officials, and having a venue reservation. We're thinking about having tabling for people that have information sharing and for those who are retailers, okay? So with that, we're looking at maybe having some food trucks come in rather than having us come up with a breakfast, maybe just have a food truck. Maybe 2 or 3 food trucks. We don't have to work so hard that way. So we're still investigating our options and our prices for the kids' activities because we want to make it family friendly, kid friendly. We're talking about maybe getting a face painter to occupy the children's time and make it something fun, or a magician. And I've used both of those with my association, so I have some contacts. So that's kind of like where we are right now. But right now, I'd like to get permission from the steering committee to spend $8,250. Like I said, we may not even spend all of that if we can get some of this stuff for free. So.
And so, Rhonda, if it's okay, I know I see your hand up, Alberto, but I just wanted to add a couple of things about the box fan. There you go. So previously, last year, the steering committee also authorized, I want to say 1,200.
25 box fans,
25 box fans, so $1,250 to do a workshop. And so part of the thought process is potentially, at least from the subgroup that I heard, was to use part of that money that was already authorized in addition to this money. So we would be at $2,500 for the box fan filter booth, so that, we can leverage this event versus, creating a separate workshop. And that was what the subgroup's thoughts were on that.
Right, thank you for that.
Yeah, Alberto?
Thank you, Janice. I just wanted to emphasize for Rhonda and the committee, you alluded to this, but you are correct. 350 Sacramento is already engaged in a very large project. So I'm fully supportive of if we can get it from somebody else so the committee doesn't have to spend it. And the reason I'm saying that is because that is a program that we, the Air District, is also funding. So I think we can realize some efficiencies here and leave you more money for other things if we can get them from other places.
Right.
In addition to 350, I know that our friends at Breathe Sacramento. Oh, here's Amy. That's right. Amy is the one that is running that program with SAC 350, so she can give you more details. But our friends at Breathe Sacramento have also been doing some box fans. So I think there's plenty out there now that we might be able to tap into, and that we don't have to spend this money on it.
Right.
Yep. I know there's lots of hands. I was just going to chime in just since Alberto had mentioned 350 Sacramento, and yes, they were one of our recipients for the penalty money. So part of one of our violators put half of the money towards their project. And so it would be great for us to just check and see where they are at and what's left in their funding. They also were only partially funded. So if we do have another penalty that happens to come through in the next 6 months and that violator is interested in participating and putting even more money towards 350 Sacramento and keep that effort going. It was a really great, the couple events that have happened. So hopefully that can happen at your event, Rhonda, the upcoming event. And then also, I just wanted to let everybody know that we have a couple of Sacramento Valley College Corps fellows that are working with us, and we're planning on them helping at this event. So they're going to be putting in some time and working with the community and booths, and they're working on things right now. So.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah, we definitely want to leverage and partner up with somebody so that we can spend our money wisely and spend it in the most economical way. So if we don't have to spend all of that 8,000, then we really don't want to, so we will be checking into donations in kind if we have to, that type of thing. Like we're talking about a magician, sometimes you can work out some deals. My agency is a nonprofit, so I could accept the donation. Okay, I know that the steering committee is not, so we can look at something like that too. So that's where we are. So, but I just wanted to ask for the maximum amount of money that we think we might need, so that we won't have to delay the timeline and come back when it's kind of close to when the event's gonna be. And we're looking at the event probably being, we haven't nailed down a date with the school, with the Fern Bacon, where the location will be. As you heard earlier, they signed a contract, but they're working out some details. But we prefer the 6th of May, or 2 weeks after that. I think it's the 22nd. I don't have my calendar up, but it's all on Saturdays, or April 29th on a Saturday. So we're waiting to hear back from the school to see which one of those dates work the best for them. The timing would be from 8 until noon, I believe. And so we try to fit all these activities within that timeline. Are there any questions?
Yeah, my hand's up.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Pat.
So when we talk about the kids' activities, I think a face painter is, you probably get a little bit more bang for your buck by having 1 or 2 of those people. And do we have any ability to work with United Latino about the comic book that they've used before, so the kids might have something that's a takeaway with them about air quality?
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna say, Rhonda, let me tell you where I have trepidation, because I buy food and have to feed people all the time. $5,000 is, I don't know what you're planning on feeding people, but that's a lot when we can get vendors, and particularly for the amount of time that you're wanting to be there. You know, my question is, what are you wanting to provide? Are you wanting to provide a refreshment, a little bit of a snack, or are you trying to feed a buffet meal out to people?
Well,
and how many people are you wanting to try to feed?
Well, we have to estimate. This is the first time we've had this kind of event, so we're not sure. But we figure maybe 200 to 400 people. We're not sure. You know, as far as the food, we're looking at food trucks. Oftentimes, food trucks ask for money up front to guarantee that they're going to make a profit. We're looking at possibly pizzas, like breakfast pizzas. And maybe we can go to, we were recommended, I forget the name of the pizza place, but they do vegan and they do regular pizzas, and I heard they do great breakfast pizzas. So we're not trying to be real extravagant, but we just didn't want to underestimate and then not have enough to work with. So, and like I said, when it comes to saving $1, I'm good at saving money and finding the best deals and getting people to donate. If we can get donations, that's great too, so that we might not even have to spend nowhere near $5,000. But we had to put out some kind of figure, because if we go with food trucks, the average food truck, especially if the numbers are low, like 200 people, they're going to ask for $500 up front. You know, so if we have, you know, 3 food trucks or 4 food trucks, that's like a couple thousand right there. So, but we haven't confirmed anything. These are ideas that we've been throwing out and trying to figure out and trying to come up with a budget so we can know how to move forward.
Right.
And so Tito's not here tonight, but he volunteered because he's currently working on the Lunar New Year Festival here in Sacramento, I think next weekend. Or is it this weekend, I guess?
Yeah.
And he's been working with some food trucks. So he has offered to provide some potentially different options and the cost. And so he's going to be looking into that a little bit more deeply.
Yeah, I'm just saying an event that goes from 8 to 12, that seems a lot. And you know, if we're talking about juice and a snack, or are we trying to do full meals? And I say it depends on the vendor and what they're, I mean, they know that business, so.
Yeah.
Put that in, but-
Originally, we were looking at continental breakfast, but I don't think I would get up at 8 o'clock to come to have some coffee and a donut. So food has a way of drawing people there so you can get more attendance too.
Oh, no, I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
So can we be clear? So we have a time of the event set already, but we don't have a date set?
We are looking at 3 possible dates, and it's going to be contingent upon what the Fern Bacon School people say. The possible date would be, let me go to May 6th. That's our first choice. May 20th is our second choice, and then April 29th. We wanted to keep it in May because May is, was it National
Air Month?
Air Quality Month or something, and Mental Health Month.
Cool.
But we would, if they didn't like the 2 May options, we would concede with the April date of April 29th.
And
is
Ron,
the
you're looking
phase
for,
3 going to be there?
Excuse me?
The phase 3 monitor will be up?
Yeah, they'd be at Fern Bacon.
No, I'm saying is the phase 3 monitor going to be functioning?
That's the plan.
That's what we
Okay.
hope, yes.
Okay.
great. So
I
motion,
I see Vincent, your hand's up next, and then there's Jennifer.
yeah, I think, so
Vincent,
we can go to Jennifer.
Okay, Jennifer?
Oh, thanks. Well, you mentioned the tabling event, and I just wanted to offer our time if there was any interest in having any CARB staff or, from different groups like incentives or anybody out there to share information or.
Oh, definitely, yes.
Yeah, just let us know. We're more than happy to do that. And additionally, I wanted to just add the idea if you guys were interested in maybe providing like a blog of some sort that we could share with other CSCs, because you guys have done a lot of work. And I know I've shared your SAC Clean Air website with a lot of folks, and everyone's just thoroughly impressed with it. So we'd be more than happy to share your accomplishments with other CSCs, our EJ blog, if you guys are interested, we're more than happy to do that as well.
I don't have a problem with it. Anybody else? You just got to show me how you share a blog.
Well, feel free to send us, whatever information you want shared and passed along. And my email is in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, we can work something out.
I think it's a good idea to invite more organizations and more,
We definitely wanted to have as many as we can hold. We don't, according to whatever space we have at Fern Bacon. So
right. The more we invite, the more people will show up.
right.
Great.
And normally when people table, they invite their friends and colleagues and contacts as well too. So
I guess if I'm looking at that, there are going to be people who are going to eat before they get there, or there are going to be people who, are planning on trying to eat and might buy something from, a vendor who's there. But the other is, I know Adrian had put something in about a grocery, maybe something like that, partnering with another entity, because that does attract people. But it's also, you're dealing with nutrition and having people be able to take some fruits and vegetables and some things. And maybe we want to keep in the, kind of foundational, fundamental thing of health in that partnering with the food. So those are options. I just know that those have been successful and might be able to get partners who go in with those, go in with that as well.
we just want to make it so it's not so labor intensive upon us, because usually 20% of the people do 80% of the work. And that's been my experience when I have events for our organization. We served hot dogs and nachos and cheese, but it was a lot of work, trying to get all that stuff ready. And then you still got to make sure that you meet the health standards. So that's another thing too. So because you don't want to get cited, somebody gets sick from something. So
And I'm pretty sure there's a soccer league going at that time too. So there'll be people there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a nice little soccer league that plays there on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, so I'm just saying that's another one, because produce and fruits and vegetables, and we might be able to get some health screeners out there and other things too, partners.
Right.
So all around.
Right.
I'm just saying, you know, I want to do our biggest bang for our buck with it, Rhonda. But I also know everything we're spending, nothing's getting replenished. So
Right.
that's what I'm saying when it comes to that.
Well,
Okay.
as we get closer to this, we'll probably be able to nail down vendors and prices and confirm quotes.
Right.
And like I said, we may not even spend the 8,000, but I don't want to have to come back, you know, again and again and again, asking for a little bit more and a little bit more because we didn't ask for enough. This should be more than enough. And then what we don't use, it just stays in the pot.
Great, sounds good to me. Are we ready to entertain a motion for the budget for the event at Fern Bacon and the Phase 3 monitor? It got quiet.
Real quiet.
So Rhonda, can you make your own motion?
I don't know if I can. Can I do that, Janice?
Yes.
Okay, well, I make a motion that we approve the spending from the budget from the subcommittee engagement group of $8,250
For the Phase 3.
for the Phase 3 monitoring event held at Fern Bacon, hopefully sometime in late April or May, early May, mid-May.
Do we have a
Any seconds?
I'll go ahead and second the motion with the proviso that we get an update as we get closer for expenditures, Rhonda, that we can, how we're partnering with those dollars to expand them.
Okay, so that's a second, Pat?
Yes, with a rider.
Friendly amendment.
Friendly amendment, and Rhonda would have to accept that friendly amendment before we could go forward.
Okay, I accept that.
Great, so now we'll have call to the vote.
Vincent, excuse me, I'm sorry. You have Bishop Chris with his hand up.
Okay, sorry.
I'm looking at the table and chair rentals. And on previous times, if you partner with the city council office, which wherever we're doing this, if it's Fern Bacon, you may want to partner with them ahead of time, and they can partner with getting the chairs and the tables out there through their own city thing where they get their chairs and stuff for events at the parks and things. So you can wipe out this $1,000 if you get with the city early enough with a date and say, can you partner with us to loan us some of your tables and your chairs?
I agree. I think I mentioned that we would try to partner with somebody. We might be able to partner with Fern Bacon. They may have chairs and so that's why I said some of these costs that we have here might be wiped out or greatly reduced.
Yeah.
Because our first thing is we're going to try to partner somewhere to get these chairs. You know.
Yeah. Good idea.
And we're going to try to partner in all these categories as best we can. That's why I said this is probably the most we would need, you know, so that we don't have to keep coming back, like I said, going back and forth. But I see partnering in a lot of areas. And so we've already divided up our tasks and trying to figure out who we can contact, you know, for assistance in that area. And I'm aware of the city doing that, but this is not a city, I don't know, authorized event, I guess I should say. I know they do that for neighborhood associations. So I'm not sure what they would do just for this particular function. That's why I said, but the school may already have chairs, or they may have the kind of tables that we used when we were at, what was that last meeting, the engagement meeting, you know, so we'll be able to find somebody that maybe can donate the chairs, so.
Okay, let's gather back to where we were at. And so there was a friendly amendment to your motion and you accepted it, Rhonda?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a motion and it was seconded. All those in favor of the motion?
So we're,
Say aye.
oh, Vincent,
Yeah,
I'm gonna run through the roster.
okay, great.
So I'll help you do that. Bishop Chris Baker,
Yes.
Rachel Brown,
Yes.
Jesus Cervantes,
Yes.
Rhonda Henderson,
Yes.
Bill Knowlton,
Yes.
Michael Lampkin,
Yes.
Taylor Sam,
Yes.
Patricia Shelby,
Yes.
Vincent Valdez.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's
Motion passes.
motion passes. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Right.
Rhonda, just to let everybody know on the committee, Rhonda still does need a lot of help to pull this event off. And all these ideas that we just shared are great if we could help her get them to fruition.
That was my next slide. Thank you, Vincent. You must have been reading my mind.
I'm
This
with
is how our logistics and planning tasks, action items look like. And we need to put some names in there. We need some help. And in these different areas, like confirming the venue and contacting organizations, local ones, and then developing promo flyers, you know, any suggestions about the kids' booth activity. We talked about coloring. So somebody brought up the coloring book that somebody makes. Was that?
The United Latinos has coloring books. Yes, we'll
Okay.
provide some for their.
So we thought about leveraging that too. So, and then
350 SAC does have a lot of leftover box fans. They asked me to help them move them from their storage.
Okay.
So I can contact them as well.
All right, okay, because we brought that up. We said we need to contact them. So Vincent's gonna contact that. Okay. Tito's working on vendors because he deals with a lot of vendors for the lunar celebration already. I have contacts with vendors as well over the years, dealing with concert in the park and National Night Out. So we'll have quotes from various ways, whether it be partnering with somebody or, you know, donations in kind. I offer to use my association because we're a nonprofit if people want to donate. That way we can still get the free, you know, donations. So. But I need help. I need volunteers to fill in the gaps here and to add to where you see names. We need multiple names on every line. So don't be shy. Sign up today. So our next meeting, we're going to have we're going to meet 2 times a month, and our next subcommittee meeting will be February 6th. And then after that, it'll be February 22nd, and they're from 6 to 8 p.m. And right now they're on Zoom. So I hope we get some takers.
Rhonda, may I ask what time, February 6th?
They're both at 6 to 8.
Okay, 6 p.m.
Are those Wednesdays?
Those are Wednesdays, I do believe. Let me double check. Yes. That's our normal date that we meet, yes. Let me see, Wednesday.
I have a conflict with Wednesdays now, so just to let you know, but okay. I can still participate via email and I can contact you.
Wait a minute, let me look at these again. Hold on. The 6 is wrong. That's a typo. It should be the 8th of February.
Yes, that's Wednesday.
Janice. Okay, so the 8th is a Wednesday, and then it's gonna be the 22nd, which is another Wednesday.
Okay.
So we switched our meetings to third Wednesdays because we people weren't showing up, so they're showing up a little more now. by having it on Wednesday?
So normally Rhonda sends out the subcommittee Zoom information. Because these are already set, we went ahead and told Rhonda that we can go ahead and, you know, send the logistics information out and kind of take that off her plate since she added a couple of more. And so you'll be hearing from the district in terms of, you know, the Zoom links, the times, and, you know, a little bit more coordination on our part as part of this event. And yeah.
Yeah, we need somebody to help develop flyers.
So, yeah.
Because that's gonna be the next thing we do once we get a date, is start working on a flyer.
Yeah, so our
And-
communication office was going to start working on some draft flyers, and so we'll be running it by the outreach subcommittee too, on the ideas that we have.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
All right, that's all I have.
All right, Vincent, I'm going to give you a time check. We are way past
Yep.
time. And so I will leave you with that. The next item we have is the 2023 visioning meetings, and then we have new business and public comments, okay?
Yeah, and we were gonna put up 40 minutes for the visioning meeting. And the visioning meeting was, it felt like when we left the visioning meeting we had in October or was it September, that right when the visioning was starting to happen, the meeting ended. And so we haven't really been able to go back to it. So on my list is discuss the date, location, goals, and agenda items. So is there things you want to talk about today about the visioning meeting? I know we talked about having it after the new members joined from this upcoming application period. So we're looking at sometime in February or March, right?
Yeah, probably March.
Mm-hmm.
Can I interject something?
Sure.
We did put the recruitment information on the website, thanks to Taylor. So it is on our website.
That's awesome.
I would say let's look at looking at a date in March for us to get together again. And do we have, we could talk about this probably for the bulk of a meeting next month as well, for a little bit more detail. But maybe looking at sometime in March and kind of work backwards from there.
Would it be helpful for the district to develop a couple of dates and maybe kind of like what we did last time with the first visioning meeting, to survey the committee in terms of the date?
And yes, so this wouldn't be on a regular day of our scheduled meetings either, since we had different.
Correct.
Okay, just want to confirm that too.
Yeah, I think it would be helpful to kind of speculate on some dates.
Okay. So we'll take that as an action item on our part.
Okay.
Since you all will be discussing this at your next meeting, I don't know, I mean, we put together some like quick recaps of the first visioning meeting. We can make this available for you all for next month's meeting for you to dive deep into it, or I can go, you know, quickly through it. I don't know what your preference is, Vincent.
We can read through it. Go ahead. If you'd like to read through it, go ahead.
Okay, so a few takeaways that, you know, we were writing our notes down. The main takeaways that we've gotten from the steering committee was that, you know, there was a desire to increase the community outreach, communicating the steering, the community story. story and sharing the data results with the community. There was a lot of discussion about needing to create partnerships with our local organizations and leveraging their skills, their resources, and bring them to this particular program. Leveraging data from other local air monitoring projects. I know United Latinos was doing some air monitoring projects and there was some discussion about that. And then towards the end was a discussion about advocating more resources for AB 617 implementation. And so that led to the more specific question of, what is the steering committee's ask? And identifying how that message changes depending on who we're talking to and who the audience is. So, what's the pitch to the community? What is the pitch to electives? What is the ask? And then with that, there was a quick touch on creating a subcommittee groups that could potentially tackle some of these particular questions, like maybe that you need a subgroup to figure out what the specific ask is, maybe a subgroup to talk about, how do we go about advocating for more resources or creating partnerships. And so that's where we left off at the last meeting.
I think that's a pretty accurate synopsis of the takeaways. And I do support what Vincent was saying. We were just kind of getting into the meat of it and it when we ran out of time. So being able to kind of jumpstart with that is going to be good. But yes, if we can get a survey of availability for March, it would be really great.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, no super rush. We'll work on the date. And if you guys have some thoughts about the location, I don't know what everyone thought about the La Familia location and if, we should pursue having it at the same place. I know Richard helped us secure that location last time. And so maybe, that's something we can ask Richard to potentially help us do, or maybe Vincent, I know you've mentioned that in the past. And then you guys can work through, goals of the meetings, potential items at your next, at the next month's meeting.
Great.
Okay. All right. I think our next item is.
We're going to give a time check now. We kind of got back on track a little bit.
Yeah.
Very good. Thanks, everybody.
So we have new business and upcoming meeting topics. These are some of the standing items that, we've had for many months now. Report back from the outreach subcommittee led by Rhonda and Tito. And then we also suspected that the visioning meeting discussion was going to continue on at the next meeting, but I didn't know if anybody had any other additional topics that they would like to bring forth, and if so, you can bring them up now and you all can discuss about them and whether or not you want to put that onto tentatively for the agenda item for next month.
May I make a suggestion? Earlier in the meeting, we had talked about the also review of the charter.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Pat. I wrote it down too. I didn't bring it up.
I'm going to make this into a working slide.
And
I hear some background noise. I don't know if anyone is needing to be on mute. Okay, I think it went away now. Thank you. Any other ideas for topics for next month?
Well, we've been talking about wanting to get on our website a list of events and things going on in the community. So maybe we could add that. And I'm going to forward some things for Rhonda to put on the website too. And just things like Tito's working on the event for the Lunar New Year. So I'm going to go there with our QR code and survey as many people as I can. And those are the things that we can do in outreaching to the community. And there's a lot of different events coming up. So at United Latinos, we were talking about Cesar Chavez Day, and then that's in March. And then also there is upcoming Earth Day, where we can go and just survey people. And I think it's going to help us if we're asking for other communities to be in the AB 617 process. We can survey within our steering committee community as well as outside of it. And so it's going to be helpful. So having an agenda or a calendar for us to post the upcoming events that we know of, so we can get a collective and choose which ones we can attend. Community events calendar. And your event will be on that calendar, by the way, Rhonda.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, is there any other agenda topics? These are pretty meaty, so it's probably about 2 hours. Okay, if there isn't anything else, I think we can transition to Marie. Oh, go ahead.
There was a hand up, just went down from Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, that was me. Looks like Deldy beat me to it. I was just gonna ask more about the visioning meeting, the next one, if you guys were gonna have another closed session or interested in having CARB attend and providing any info or input. That was all.
Great. Well, Deldy, could you come to our next community engagement meeting and share that with us? That way we'd have that information prior to the visioning meeting.
Well, we'll certainly rely on, sure, Vincent, we'll certainly rely on Jennifer to do that. I'm actually getting ready to be gone for a bit here. So, but she's your community liaison. She's also the liaison for communities in the San Joaquin Valley, and has a really good sense of what's happening in some of the other communities that could be of interest during your visioning conversation.
Great, thank you. We would love to hear that. Or at least I would.
Perfect. So yeah, I'm more than happy to attend. That you said you want us at the community engagement meeting next month?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that okay, everybody? We'll add her to the agenda topics too then. Please, Janice.
Oh.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Now. Okay, I want to honor our time. We're getting short.
All right, we are actually right on time, 1 minute early. I'm going to go ahead and transition. So before we move on to that, our next meeting is on Monday, February 27th. And that's going to be a community engagement meeting. And so we just talked about the agenda items. And then with that, I'm going to pass it over to Marina to open public comments.
Yes, just pausing here. If anyone has any comments on anything that we talked about earlier or unrelated, go ahead and raise your hand, or if you're on the phone, *9. I see Adrian.
Awesome. Oops.
Thank you for being so excited about my comment, Vincent. So this is Adrian with Valley Vision. Really appreciate this meeting and always happy to participate as I have for a little while. Just wanted to sort of give an update on some of the work that we're doing, and then also to just draw your attention to a couple funding opportunities that I know we're looking at and that you guys might also be looking at. So for the new folks, Valley Vision's a partner along with other community-based organizations in a project called Sacramento Neighborhoods Activating on Air Quality, or SNAC, which always makes me hungry when I say it. And really what we're doing with that project is focusing in on North Sacramento and then the Oak Park Fruit Ridge area where I live, and doing some initial air monitoring and working with residents to find hotspots in their communities, and then to come up with action plans of how they want to address some of those pollution issues. So we've received 2 of CARB's community air grants to fund that work. And we're looking at hopefully continuing that work through another CARB community air grant. So that grant program is open, I believe, and CARB can speak to this better than anyone, but I believe March 3rd is the deadline for that program, and it can provide up to $300,000 worth of funding to community-based organizations that are doing AB 617 work. So I know we're interested in applying for that to continue our work in North Sac and in Oak Park, and would love you all's support. And if you all are interested in that funding source, maybe we can support each other in doing that. So just wanted to call that out. And then separately, there's also a federal US EPA grant opportunity that I kind of wanted to see if anyone was thinking about. And I do not recall the name of the program, but I believe it's due April 10th. And there's multiple programs, multiple basically ways that groups can get funded with by this program. And I think governments can get up to $1 million for EJ projects, and CBOs can get up to $500,000 for EJ projects. And I was kind of curious in seeing whether whether the Air District was thinking about applying for one of the government up to $1 million grants to fund some of the SERP development work or to cover any funding gaps. And if not, whether maybe a CBO wanted to do that. So just kind of curious, and wanted to share that there's a lot of funding available right now. So I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Adrian. And Vincent, I see your hand is up.
Yeah, was anybody from the Air District going to answer that question, or?
Maybe just a very high level, we always take a look at new opportunities to see what comes with it and whether or not, how that may or may not make sense. So we're taking a look at it and don't really have a direct response at this point on that particular one. But we're always taking a look at opportunities.
Great. Yeah, I had my hand up. I was going to be a question for Jennifer. Jennifer, could you remind everybody on the committee about the upcoming Blueprint Zoom call we're going to be having, and let them know that they can participate? And she put 2 links into the chat around 7:07 in regards to the blueprint and the revised blueprint process.
Yeah, that's right. So I did reach out to, I guess, everybody in the CSC a while back. I guess I know the holidays, everybody must have been busy, but we are hoping to meet with folks from different CSCs and just kind of hear what they have to say about the blueprint and just their perspectives on the whole AB 617 implementation process. What works for you? What's not been working for you? What can we do differently? So we set up several meetings with different folks just to have a conversation and chat. And we're meeting with Vincent on the 26th, so you're more than welcome to join that Zoom meeting, or we can schedule something separately if that date does not work for you. More than happy to resend that email if you'd like, but yeah, let me know if you're interested.
Great, thank you, Jennifer. And did you already have one call with a couple of our members from the committee already?
Yes, we met with Pat. I think that was last week.
Yes, that's correct. Richard and I were going to meet, but Richard wasn't able to attend, so I was there. Yes.
Okay, so that's just one of us. So if anybody else on the committee could join or reach out to Jennifer, and it would be helpful for us to put some input into this process and get maybe some suggestions on what we think could be better.
Yeah, the more the merrier. I can go ahead and repaste that link to the Blueprint 2.0 revision updates as well.
Thank you. Taylor, it could happen before next Tuesday too. Just want to let you know.
It's all good.
All right. If there isn't anything else, would you like to close the public comment period, Vincent?
Sure. Is there anybody else who has anything they want to say, talk about?
Okay.
Okay, we can close the public comments period. And we still have 4 minutes left of it too.
All right, we got our action items. We've been taking notes on them, so we'll make sure to include them into our notes. Some of the main things is make sure we go back and survey the steering committee members in terms of the visioning meeting. Was there anything else, Marina? That was the main item, correct?
And Jaime is going to pull up, they're going to look on the emissions benefit for the Pepsi Tesla trucks.
Right. Okay, if not, like I said, the next meeting is going to be Monday, February 27th, same time, 6 p.m. And I'll pass it to Vincent to close us out.
Okay, this is one last motion to be made. Anybody want to make it?
I make a motion that we close the meeting out tonight.
All right, thank you, Rhonda.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All right, thanks everybody for coming out and helping get our first meeting off this year. A lot of good topics we talked about and a lot of work to do.
Thank you, Vincent. You're doing a great job.
All right,
Good job. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
At all.
Okay, good night.